G'day and welcome back to another episode of Mates with Snakes. On this episode, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to make a background for a reptile enclosure. Stay tuned and enjoy. The first thing I like to do is draw out a plan on your piece of plywood. Draw everything that you imagine that you want in your background. Ledges, branches, plants, caves, everything. It doesn't have to be perfect, as this is just a sketch or a mud map to help guide you through the project. Next, I created the 3D element by shaping chicken wire however I desired it and stapling it to the background or the plywood. You will see in the first chicken wire structure there is a heat cord. This is going to heat the first ledge. Okay, the next part can be quite messy, so you definitely want a pair of gloves on for this. I applied heat resistant expansion foam all over the background on the structures inside the chicken wire and on the outside. After that, I waited for it to expand. This was a large project and I did go through quite a few cans of foam to get the desired look I was after. But in the end, I think it was definitely worth it. Now that the bulk of the foam is on, I still wanted to apply a few little things like plastic pots and some sticks. So while the foam is still gooey, because it does take a little while to set, I managed to place the first pot in the top corner. The plastic pots will allow me to plant live plants later on. Okay, here you can see that I've added a couple of branches and another pot, and also started to do a bit of the carving work. To carve the foam, I used box cutter blades and multi-grips to hold the blade. I can guarantee you're going to make quite a mess doing this. Once I was finished shaping the foam and I was happy with the look of it, I went ahead and created a substrate. What I used was cocoa fibre, sphagnum moss and sand. Once my three ingredients were mixed together and I was happy with the amount of each, it's back to the background because it's ready for silicone. Again, this ended up being another very messy task, so good clothes were definitely not worn. I started applying the silicone with a paintbrush, but it was so tacky that I ended up just smearing it with my hands. By using silicone, this created a water resistant barrier. It also allowed us to glue our substrate to the background. Once the silicone was in place, it was time to cover the whole lot with the substrate. Again, because this project was quite large, I had to do this stage 3 or 4 times. Otherwise, if I completed it all in one go, the silicone at the beginning would have started to dry out before I got to the end. Yep, the waiting game. You have to wait for the silicone to dry before you tip all the substrate off. And depending on how big your project is, if it's large like mine was, you might find yourself repeating this process again. And now for the final result. I think it come up alright. And I really hope you guys think so too. Now I have to go build an enclosure for this background, and that'll be another video. But for now, thank you for watching Mates with Snakes, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook. We'll see you next time on Mates with Snakes.